Well, hello. This is another episode of Locked In, or should I call it Locked In Vlog? Comment below. Again, I'm trying to do these more often to pump out more videos for you guys, and with the style of videos that apparently everybody enjoys with the SF to LA trip and the feedback that I got, I'm trying to do more vlog videos, and I think I'm going to use these as a platform to show off new products that I have coming in so I can get more feedback from you for my reviews. So the reviews I might be spreading out a little bit more and putting more content like this in and showing off just kind of the day-to-day, what I'm working on, so that you can be more involved in what's going on the channel. So if that's something you're interested in, please stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't already. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be showing you two products that just came in that I'm going to be doing a review for hopefully soon, as well as, and we're going to go on a bike ride and talk about, do you really notice for, let's say, the average cyclist, a real difference in riding a gravel tire on the road? I know I talk about that a lot on my YouTube channel for the tire reviews that I've done recently, so I'm going to be taking out my Cobalt Warhawk that's been wearing my Gravel King 700 by 50C plus tires, and is it really the weight difference or is it really the tread pattern? So I'm going to give you my couple of thoughts on that, taking you on a little bit of a spin, just trying to get back into riding. I haven't been riding as much, admittedly, as I would like to say I have been. After the SF to LA trip, I've definitely kind of taken some time off and been focusing on producing more content for the channel, so I just haven't been on the road as often as I should. Typically that does happen, and I have noticed it, so I'm going to try to use these as a platform to make myself go ride, even if it's only, 10 or 20 miles, just to ride more often. So let's get into the products that we're talking about. All right, so we're gonna be going over these things right here, and we're gonna couple that with a new product from Original Free Range, as well as the new Dynaplug that I'm really excited about, that I think answers the main issue that I didn't even know I had with the Dynaplug Racer. So let's show you that. This little contraption here, shout out to Original Free Range for sending it in the locked in pink and purple. So this is the Original Free Range holder that they just sent me. It's a newer product they just put on their website, and I'll show you how it works in a second. But this essentially is going to be designed to hold a pump and another accessory, or a range of accessories on your bike around your bottle holder. And I know it doesn't look like much, but this is a really simple solution to hold both my pump and the new Dynaplug Pro. Now, the Dynaplug Pro looks just like the Dynaplug Racer. This one has a trick up its sleeve to where usually when you're riding, depending on the length of the ride, I'll bring this and a little pack of extra plugs. But this one actually is so simple, it stores 2 on each side, so you have a total of 4 plugs. So in my opinion, this is a killer game changer for this, and honestly just makes it so much easier to carry extra plugs. So because again, you only got 2 plugs in the Dynaplug Racer, and as we saw on my SF to LA trip, I used 2 plugs to plug that really big rear hole I had on day 2, and I would have been out of plugs at that point if I didn't have the extra little pack. Now, granted, I did bring that, and I wouldn't normally do that because obviously it was a big bike tour, but on a regular ride, that might be all the plugs that I want to bring with, or if I don't bring the extra pack on the Dynaplug Racer, this Dynaplug Pro solves that problem, allowing you to carry 4 of them. The fact that this has 3 small ones and a large one, you're going to be basically covered on anything you're going to have coming out on a ride, and obviously you can still carry extras with you if you need. Honestly, I wanted to thank them because they sent this to me for review, and I sent them all the content from the SF to LA trip and showed them that, look, your tire plugs honestly saved the trip and was the only reason we didn't have to stop or put a tube in any of our tires, because these work so well. So they are not paying me to say this. I'm not sponsored by Dynaplug. I'd like to be, so if they want to do that, I'd love to. But honestly, I will never use anything else, because as we've mentioned, the bacon strips work pretty well on mountain and lower pressures in our experience, but there was one road ride that me and Mario did where at the higher PSI, he actually kept having the bacon strip actually eject out of the tire. So after that experience, I won't ever go back, and I love how easy these Dynaplugs work. So let's show you how to put on that Original Free Range holder, and then I'm just gonna do a quick t-shirt ride and take you with me, and we're gonna talk about this gravel tire situation, and make sure to comment below with your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. All right, so let's check this out. Okay, so as you can see here, you have your 2 items, and this can be anything, CO2, whatever you want to use. And basically all you're gonna do is put this around your bottle cage. Then I know it looks complicated with the dual layers here, but all you're gonna do is, in conjunction with the rubber stoppers that you always want to put on the bottom towards the frame so they don't make noise, you simply tuck whatever item you want here, and then when you put your other item on the other side, that's what's going to keep tension on everything so that this doesn't fall out. Then you might need to realign some of the rubber stoppers so that your item, depending on the size and everything, doesn't rub on your frame, but a super clean look. And let's do the drop test, bounce test. And that's only noise is coming from actually the little pieces right here on my outer shell frame bag that I mentioned in the review when they tap. Yeah, super minimal, super clean, nice elasticity to everything so that it can have some movement, so it's not gonna, you know, be direct mounted, and that's more likely to make something bounce off. And a quick little shot of the other side here. Now, again, we'll have to reposition some of these rubber stoppers depending on the item that you wanted. I ended up moving this one so that it was farther away so that the head of the pump head didn't tap on the frame, so now it's got some movement here without it making contact. You can obviously put this on your other bottle cage as well, but really like that and wanted to shout that out. I have a review coming for a handful of these paracord pieces from Original Free Range coming later, so make sure to turn notifications on for that and the Dynaplug Pro review. So now that that's out of the way, we're gonna go ride. I'm gonna see if this thing actually makes noise on the trail, because obviously that's the most important part. So I'm taking on some light duty gravel, nothing super chunky, I'm just gonna go cruise. So let's get moving. So 3 seconds into the ride, notice my one fatal flaw. I didn't check to see if this would hit the crank arm, and it totally does. So I'm going to move this to the seat tube position. You know, you live and you learn. If I put the Dynaplug on the other side, I could do that as well. So let's just actually switch that. That's a better idea. I'm dumb. That won't be a good idea because obviously it's still going to hit on the other side. Crisis averted. Oh man, this is what happens when I'm out filming for reviews. The behind the scenes things you don't see. Quick little update before I get into the topic of this video. We're gonna be looking at, did that Original Free Range mount hold? I was actually very nervous about mounting the Dynaplug vertically because I didn't want it to slip or the cap to fall off and it fall through, and I wanted to ride kind of a set route so in case I did drop it I could double back and find it. But as you can see here, totally fine, still very, very secure. These rubber mounts are against the cap, the main body, and the other cap, so it kept it really nice and secure, no tapping or noise. And the pump I thought might tap on the bottle cage. When you're riding, I didn't hear anything, but so super surprised and happy with how that worked out. And yes, obviously I could put that Dynaplug in my frame bag or my Rocky Mountain Toast Little Cheese, but this is again for testing purposes for the review coming soon. So let's talk about this whole gravel bike tire on the road. Now, again, I've mentioned a lot of this in all the reviews that I've been doing for a lot of the gravel tires that I've had on the channel. Granted, most of them are WTB or Panaracer. They both supported the channel with hooking it up. But do you actually really notice it on the road? Now, I'm definitely more out of shape than I was from the SF to LA trip, but realistically, I'm on these Gravel King Pluses still, and I think they're one of the faster rolling, and I can't confirm or deny that, on the road at decent pressures compared to the WTB Ventures that I've mentioned. And I think the main thing you're gonna actually feel for most cyclists, and again, I swap a lot of stuff on my bike, so I notice more of the subtleties than people who are going to be riding one set of tires for probably 6 months to a year. So the main takeaway, to be honest, is you're going to basically feel like there's a little bit more effort getting up to speed. Maintaining speed once you're rolling, yes, it may take a little bit more effort, So that just means basically, in my experience, if you don't know about power or wattage, heart rate's kind of the easier thing to understand. I would say, yeah, your heart rate might be 5 to 10 beats per minute faster, trying to do the same speed on a lighter weight and slicker road style tire compared to like a gravel tire at the same pressure on the same wheels. So that just means for wattage, I think you're gonna be spending maybe 5 to 15 more watts. Now, for a race or, you know, a local bunch ride, if that's okay in the area you live in, I think obviously, yeah, that means over a couple of hours, you're really gonna notice that. That's gonna be a lot more fatiguing. But if you're just doing a commute or a, you know, a shorter ride, is it worth switching out the tires or swapping wheels? I really don't think so for most of us. I used to commute on the Maxxis Ramblers a long time ago. They actually rolled pretty well, and I was fine with that going to work. I didn't mind spending a little bit extra effort, because then on the way home I could hit some trails or dirt and have some more fun with the bike, and I didn't mind that. And then my commute was about 13 miles, and I would do it in about 45 minutes to an hour. Is it crucial for you to have multiple wheels and tires if you're using your gravel bike as a road bike? No. Is it more convenient if you can just hot swap wheels? Completely. But I would say, unless you're doing a really fast-paced or long-distance ride, I'd say 40 miles plus, and it's going to be just road, yes, probably is going to be worth switching those out. But anything under, I'd say, the 2-hour mark, if you're riding with friends or by yourself and you're not trying to do a PR or the ultimate speed, I think you're totally fine. But I want to hear what you think in the comments below, because again, there's so many tires out there that fill in all these tiny little niches in it. Now, I love the Gravel King slicks. Those I consider almost a road tire. Do they grip in dirt on the lower pressures? Totally. They're not anywhere near the SSs or the SKs. You know, so there are other tires out there that grip better in dirt, but if you're just riding hero gravel like what I've been doing on the river trail, stuff just like this, you don't really need anything super knobby. These SKs are more than happy to work with this kind of area, and the slicks would be totally fine. Now, cornering obviously is going to be affected, but we're just talking about effort and rolling resistance. So that's my 2 cents, because again, you have to really think about it of what are you actually going to be riding. We all have aspirations, I feel, with gravel biking, and we're going to do these epic 7-hour, 10,000 foot climb, you know, adventures. But most of the time we're just doing stuff local loop style. And is that little bit of rolling resistance difference really going to make a difference in your ride or make it any less enjoyable? I don't really think so. So I wouldn't want to do a century on these, because yes, I'm going to be out on the bike and that's going to make a difference of how I feel. And again, that leads into the enjoyment of the ride. Being more fatigued or bonking or anything like that, or being more sore, especially if it's your first time, is going to take away from that enjoyment. So is it worth it at that point? I think so. So hope you like this vlog. I think I'm going to be doing more of these. Comment below for discussion topics you want to have. There's a few things I'd love to hear back from you. This kind of feedback helps me with the channel and what I'm going to be producing, because I want to make content that everyone wants to watch and not just stuff that I like to make. And I want to combine the two and make awesome videos going forward. So please make sure to comment below, turn notifications on so you can see all the videos I put out on my channel every single week. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, as well as you can support Locked In, since this is my full-time job, via my Spreadshirt, where I have t-shirts, coffee mugs with my Slow But Look Pro logos, as well as on Pateron, where I offer bike consultations every single month for my top 2 tier levels. So if you're looking to buy a new bike, let me help you out, because there's a lot of bikes out there and it is very confusing, and I'd love to help the community, and I love doing that as much as possible. So thanks for watching this episode, or this vlog, of Locked In.
Let's get locked in.